you have been following along with us throughout this course for beginners here on YouTube, in this very first unit, you have learned lots of things, starting by giving and asking for personal information, talking about nationalities and professions, giving reasons with por, para, and por qué, expressing interests, conjugating verbs in the present tense, subject pronouns, and talking about language learning activities. And in today's lesson, it's time to put all of that into practice. Hola amigos, bienvenidos aquí Spanish. Soy Alejandro. And let's take a look at our final project. As we have mentioned, this is the end of Unit 1 and time to do our final project of introducing ourselves to another language student. If you have not watched the previous lessons in this unit, you can find them all organized in our playlist here on YouTube. You will have the link in the description to that playlist. Now let's break down what we are trying to do today. We have to introduce ourselves and exchange some personal information. If you remember from our previous lesson, John went to a language school where he was shown different teachers. And by the way, he chose Sergio as his teacher. And well, in that school, he happens to meet Hermann. If you remember Hermann, un cocinero alemán, a German cook. So they stumble upon each other and they start talking. So they need to say, hey, how are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? And then, why do you study Spanish? ¿Por qué estudias español? ¿Por qué estudias español? And also, what interests you of the Spanish culture, right? Is the nature, is the food, is the people, the monuments, what is it? Also, what do you do to learn Spanish, right? If you are meeting in the language school two people studying the same language, you are curious, hey, what are you doing to study Spanish? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you watching movies? You're studying grammar? What do you do? And lastly, they like each other and therefore they want to keep in touch, right? So they need to exchange a way of contact information. We learned that in the lesson about giving and asking for personal information. You can ask for, give phone number or email. So those are the things you need to be able to do at the end of this unit. And we're going to see an example. Unfortunately, John and Herman were not available, but we have two other students that are learning English in a school. And we're going to watch their interaction as an example of this final project.
Hola, soy Roberto, encantado.
Hola, soy Cristina. Soy de Sevilla. ¿De dónde eres tú?
Yo soy de Salamanca. ¿Por qué estudias inglés?
Pues porque viajo mucho a Europa y también tengo algunos amigos en Londres. Para mí es interesante la historia inglesa y sus monumentos.
Yo estudio inglés por trabajo. Para mí es interesante la literatura, autores como Jane Austen o Shakespeare. ¿Qué haces para estudiar inglés?
Sobre todo veo películas en versión original y escucho la radio. ¿Qué haces tú?
Yo sobre todo doy clases de gramática y leo mucho en inglés. ¿Estamos en contacto?
Perfecto.
¿Me das tu número?
Ahora mismo. 659 432897.
Genial. Te mando un WhatsApp. We just met Roberto and Cristina, which were at a language school learning English, not Spanish. And there are a couple of questions here that we need to answer. ¿De dónde son? ¿Por qué estudian inglés? ¿Qué es interesante para ellos de la cultura inglesa? ¿Qué hacen para aprender inglés? ¿Y qué información de intercambio, qué información de contacto intercambian? What contact information do they exchange? Remember the power of video online. You can listen to the video again, rewind, pause, do whatever you need. But let's try to answer these questions. Let's see if you understood this interaction that serves as an example of our final project. But ¿de dónde son? Pues Roberto es de Salamanca y Cristina es de Sevilla. ¿Y por qué estudian inglés? Por trabajo, Roberto. Y Cristina pues viaja mucho por Europa y quiere hablar con sus amigos en inglés. ¿Qué es interesante para ellos de la cultura inglesa? A Roberto, bueno, le parece interesante, para él es interesante la literatura. Y para Cristina, la historia y los monumentos son interesantes. ¿Y qué hacen para aprender inglés? Bueno, Roberto hace clases de gramática y lee mucho. Cristina prefiere ver películas y escuchar la radio. Y por último, ¿qué información de contacto intercambian? Bueno, intercambian el número de teléfono. ¿Mm? Y le dice Roberto que le va a mandar un WhatsApp a Cristina. I hope you could follow along with the video and understand and answer the comprehension questions. And now it's your time to shine. I want you to participate again because Spanish is all about interaction and using what you're learning. Okay, remember, no seas vago. Don't be lazy. We don't accept lazy students here. So you need to practice and actually do things. Do the final projects of the unit, as we mentioned in the introduction of this course. And you need to give some personal information. It's hard, it's difficult to do it in an interactive manner. If you have someone you can practice with, perfect, fantastic. As we mentioned in previous lessons, there are online language sites to find tutors and in exchanges. But if not, you can record yourself just giving that information, okay? So what's your name? Where are you from? Where do you live? What do you do for a living? Just tell me, why do you study Spanish? ¿Por qué estudias español? Giving reasons with por, para, and por qué. Tell me what interests you of the Hispanic culture, saying with the structure, para mí, this es interesante. ¿Sí? Para mí, la naturaleza es interesante. Also tell me what things do you do to learn Spanish, aside from watching these video lessons on YouTube. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Maybe you also listen to podcasts, study grammar, whatever it is you do, just tell me. And you give me some contact information. Obviously, just made this up. Just give a random number, a random email. The important thing is that you know the numbers from 0 to 10, and you can spell your email and just add gmail.com, as we learned in previous lessons too. Okay, so how are you going to do all of this? Obviously, on YouTube here we cannot give feedback on everything or review everything, no. But for the first 3 people that share a recording with us in the comments, I'm going to listen to it and give feedback and see how you did and just provide some suggestions for improvement. The way to do this is with a tool called Buckaroo. You go to buckaroo.com, spelled like this. You can find the link in the description too. And it's super easy. You just click the record button and it will ask you for permission for your microphone, and you record according to the instructions we just gave you. And then once it's recorded, you check that everything is okay, listen to it, and click on Guardar en Compartir, Save and Share. And there will give you a link. But due to the comments, links are not accepted. Normally they are blocked. So you just shared here the ID after the link, okay? You share this number, these letters and numbers in the comments. And the first 3 to do that, I will give feedback and give you a correction on them so you can see what you can improve. Language is about interaction and using it. So make sure to take advantage of this opportunity. Just follow the instructions of the final project of the unit and do the recording, even if it's not in the first 3, or even if you don't share it with us in the comments, doesn't matter. Just do the activity to see if you have learned all of the contents throughout this unit. Language is about interaction, and make sure to use it. And that's it for this lesson and for this first unit of the course we are offering here on YouTube. We hope you enjoy it. If so, please give us a like on the video. It really helps us and it's free as you get this. And also, if you don't want to miss out our videos on lesson on Unit 2, then subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell. Okay? Soy Alejandro de Key Spanish y nos vemos en clase.